All right, let's bring in our guest. He's a former NFL head coach, offensive coordinator, no stranger to some of the best offenses of the past 20 years. Todd Haley is here. What's happening, Todd?
I'm doing good. Thank you for that intro. That was very kind and nice.
Yes. Oh, did you think I was going to take a shot at you or make fun of how you're dressed? I don't know. No, we were happy to have you on. I do want to ask you the question everyone wants to know the answer to you. Have you tried Hugh Jackson's tequila yet?
No.
Okay. No plans for that?
I do like tequila, but I haven't tried his.
You haven't tried Hughes? Oh, I'm hearing it's the best. No, I don't even know a thing about it. Now, Todd, you grew up watching the Steelers. I don't think I needed to tell you that. You were a ball boy. Your dad worked in player personnel. Is that right?
Yep. Played for the Steelers and then worked for them. So, yeah, I was a ball boy for all those phenomenal players. Got to watch them every single day. When the Steelers won, we had a little better Christmas, even though there was no money in the NFL at that time. But it was a better Christmas when the Steelers won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you look at Big Ben. What do you think? I think it seems like it's over. Now there's a meme of him falling down, throwing a pass, and that's a telltale sign that the end is near. What do you think is the cleanest break here? Or do you think he could finish out the year and bring this team back to the playoffs? I think 9-8 could actually make it now in the AFC as things are shaking out.
Yeah, I mean, Ben is a really talented. He's ultra competitive. I was a little surprised when Pouncey retired that Ben didn't make that same decision, just because that center position is so critical. Now they're playing with a guy that was I think he has a chance to be good, but I mean, he was a defensive lineman converted to center, and all that goes into that position from a communication standpoint, from a protection standpoint, and all that Pouncey was able to do for Ben through the years, which I was a big part of, for 6 years of it. I was a little surprised because, to send Ben out there with basically a rookie center that hasn't played the position a whole bunch, tough deal. And again, some coaches force the quarterback to handle all that. I've always been a believer of, if you got a really smart center, you let him do it and let the quarterback worry about being the quarterback and throwing the football where it's supposed to go. So, to me, it's, it doesn't look good, but I'm not going to point the finger at Ben. I'm going to say that I think he has zero trust right now in those guys up front. They're still unable to run the football. Some of the play design and calls, you could question, but it's a team effort, and I think Tomlin said that when you lose, it's everybody. It's easy to say, oh, well, it's the quarterback, but I don't think he's getting a lot of help right now.
Yeah, not only that, I think you're right. Like when they drafted Najee Harris, like people just assumed like, all right, his problems are all over, right? Now they have a running game. But you're right. It all begins and ends with that offensive line. And whether he's dumping it off to Najee Harris or not, it's still tough to get him protected. And he definitely needs this at this advanced age. He's not as mobile as he used to be. As far as the rookie quarterbacks go, I think we were spoiled by Joe Burrow's rookie year. Herbert's rookie year, and to a degree, Tua showed some flashes. And now we're looking at these rookie quarterbacks who are 1-10 against the spread too. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but 1-10. Which of the four do you see standing out, or if any?
Well, it shows you that it's very tough to play quarterback as a rookie guy. I mean, it just doesn't happen very often that young guys step in. That makes me say, wow, even more about Herbert, because, he wasn't the guy that got a lot of fanfare when he was coming out and when he got drafted. But he actually came in, not by design. Obviously, Tyrod got his lung punched in, or punctured. But he had to come in and play. And I mean, he really played at a high level for most of the season. And now we're seeing some more of that this year. To me, Mac Jones has the best supporting cast. I was very interested in yesterday's game. I had done a couple interviews about what do you think about Mac, and everything you saw you liked, but in the interview I said I want to see him be behind by a couple scores. Then we'll learn a little bit more about Mac Jones, and sure enough, they got behind, and it's tough. I mean, it looks easy when you're ahead. When you're ahead of the change, you can dump it down, you can hit backs. But all these young guys, Zach Wilson, who I think is immensely talented, but you know, there's a process of learning how to be a quarterback in the NFL. It does not happen overnight. You better have some traits or people around you that allow you to get up to the speed of the game, to slow the game down. I mean, with all these young guys, I mean, it's like a record on rewind. It's he's holding the ball, there's a back open, and we're not throwing it, and now we're running backwards and trying to get out of the way. So you see it over and over. I mean, they're not seeing things how they will hopefully see things as they get a little more experience and grow as a quarterback.
Yeah, I feel like, and coaches get bombarded with the criticism too, and it's not really like, I feel like if you're a coach, you're like, hey, trust me on this. We're watching these quarterbacks in practice. If we don't want to put Justin Fields in game one, there's a reason for it. And then we saw yesterday he had 6 completions and it really looked lost. I mean, he got sacked 9 times. That didn't help. But do you feel for these coaches when they're getting criticized for not putting these young players in right away, and the fan bases go crazy?
Well, Chicago, I coached in Chicago for 3 years. I know
Yeah.
how much pressure. I mean, I didn't coach in Philly, but I drove through Philly enough listening to talk radio to know very difficult also. But, Chicago, a great city, great fan base, but they're very tough. I was happy that Matt Nagy was standing his ground as far as Andy Dalton giving them the best chance to win right now. But having been there in Cleveland with, our plan was Tyrod Taylor was going to play and Baker was going to sit for a year, which is always best for these young guys. And those plans fall apart pretty quick. What I was disappointed with is to drop back against the Cleveland Browns and not have an extra tight end and not be, protecting on both sides and to just let Myles Garrett and these guys come free. I mean, it's not fair. So, I feel for them at times. And at times I feel like they're not really putting their players in the best chance to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan. Tony Romo was my favorite. You were a wide receivers coach in Dallas when Tony became the starter. I'm now friendly with Tony. We've traveled. I've seen his top half naked, if that counts for anything. But give me one of your favorite Romo stories that I can make fun of him next time I see him, or add some color as to how great a quarterback he was.
I love Tony. I mean, yeah, I was there. We had Drew Bledsoe, and we're going out to practice every day. And here's this young kid that nobody really knew who his name was on the show team playing against our defense and just tearing them up every single day. And one week we were playing the Packers, and Tony, being from where he's from, is a huge Brett Favre fan, and he just went bananas. And at one point, as scary as it is to go to Bill Parcells and say, listen, Drew Bledsoe is probably at the end. He's a sitting duck. Our line's not very good. This young Romo guy has a chance to increase our margin of error, so to speak, and it didn't start pretty, but he came in and really, that year he dropped the snap against the Seahawks. I feel like we had a legit shot. If we'd won, we would have had to play the Bears. We were good playing quarterbacks that couldn't move like Rex Grossman. I believe we had a chance to be in the Super Bowl. But Tony Romo, he was a real gym rat. He became a little bit of a celebrity later on after I left, and Bill left because, Bill didn't believe in celebrity quarterbacks. But it would be the middle of the winter, and Tony would come by my office and no players were around. And he'd say, hey, I'm thinking about changing my grip. I'm going to move my pointer a little closer to the point of the ball. Will you come out and catch balls for me? I mean, it was cold in Texas. I mean, it's the middle of February, whatever it was. And he wants to throw passes to work on this new grip. So a real gym rat that can also really play golf.
That's right. Yeah, he kind of does it all. It's annoying, isn't it? Yeah. Man, you bring up that Seattle game. It gets me to say I watched that game, and then I had to get out of the house, and I went to a movie. I went to see Blood Diamond, and I wept throughout the whole movie, and it had nothing to do with the stupid movie.
Imagine standing on that sidelines watching $25,000 slip right through your fingers, and then you got to get on an airplane and fly all the way back to Dallas.
That K ball was shiny, and that right
Looked
back
like
me
it
up
had
here.
Vaseline on it.
What the hell was that? And you never saw that again after that. And you also never saw him hold after that. You don't see quarterbacks holding as
Jason
much.
Witten also had a first down, and then they reviewed it and moved it back 6 inches. So
right, that's right.
It would have been a non-issue.
Oh, and he gets caught from behind too. It was a true font or something. It gets me sick. Anyway, all right. But you're on to better things now. You're coaching high school in Sarasota. How is that now? Is it nice? Do they call the taunting penalties as much in high school as they do in the pros?
Oh yeah, it's way worse. I mean, you better you better give that ball to the official right then. Like, I don't even know, penalty flags are going, and I'm like, what happened? I mean, like, it's things I'm not even aware of, and I'm like, well, he held his face mask and kind of tilted it up. I'm like, what? You know? Oh yeah, it's and high school coaches are crazy. I was known as a hard coach, crazy coach, but I'm the passive one that sits back and I'm watching these guys that work all day and then come out to the field, and like, I feel bad yelling at the kids. I mean, I'm just like, I'm a player's coach now. So
good for you. Good for you. I like hearing that. Wow, you really mellowed out. It's amazing. And I know this is a personal question, but are there McDonald's in Sarasota? Are you staying away? I know you had issues with McDonald's over the years.
Yeah, we did have a big issue in Dallas, but McDonald's is hard to resist, and when whatever the pandemic thing started to go on, McDonald's went down to $133, and I bought a lot of it. So
look at you.
I now am a big supporter of McDonald's.
You took their money and bought shares. What that was? Wow.
I had that money put aside, and I said, I waited till it went down, and I go, all right, I'm going to take care of you, McDonald's.
I love it. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, is you had a lawsuit. I feel like I could talk about it. It's all over the place. But you, your wife and daughter, had a rodent in a salad. Is that right?
Yeah. I was at the Cowboys facility, and my wife called me and said, "There's a rat in our salad." And I said,
"Wow!"
But
now Jerry Jones would have probably just poured salt on it and kept eating, I think, right?
The funny thing is I think we had it. I don't know where we were playing. It might have been at Seattle, but not the playoff game. And Terrell Owens, of all people, comes up the aisle of the airplane, and they had gone through this whole deal to buy McDonald's bag, buy the little, have the little cartons, and then in the cartons they had little plastic rats all filled in the bag.
Well, you know what, Todd? You got the last laugh. You're buying McDonald's stock with their money, and I appreciate you coming on. Good luck with the high school coaching. How's the team doing?
We're doing good. We're 4-1. We're getting better. It's a process, but a lot of good kids. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it is truly for the love of the game.
Riverview High School, right? Check the games.
Riverview Rams. Yep.
All right. Go Rams. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right.